Casey Trauman back here again with you on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Today we have our playoff preview, and today we have Coach Dunn with Carl Albert. Coach, how are you today?
Doing well.
Good. So we have a major game coming up tomorrow, major playoff implications. We're in it now, we're here, and we're playing a cross-city rival that we have yet to play this year. It's a big battle against Dale City. Carl Albert at home. Carl Albert, how are you feeling?
Feeling good. You know, we've had a really good week of preparation. I think our kids are locked in. A lot of focus this week, and we've had a physical week. And those guys over there they play a physical style of football, just like we like to. And it'll be a good one.
Oh yeah, and we have great players on both sides of the ball on both teams. How do you see the clash of your offense and their defense, and then their defense and your offense? Just overall game, there is so much talent everywhere on the field. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think there's playmakers on both sides, like you said, and they're going to throw punches. We got to throw back, and I think it's the weather will play a part. I think we got to both teams got to handle that well. But in these games, you love to do it just because you kind of want to see where you're at and you want to gauge yourself. And
right.
We've played each other for 5 or 6 years now, and it's always been a good game. It's been a physical game, and every year it feels like the stakes get higher and higher, and every year there's big time players in the game, and this year is no different. They've got playmakers, we've got them, so we'll see.
Okay, so taking a step back, looking back on the season, how do you feel that the process into being where you are today, how do you feel that the season process is, and then also what was your favorite win from the season?
Yeah, well, we started out the season and we were 1-2. Our starting quarterback, he got hurt on the 7th play of the game in our very first game in week 0. That kind of knocked the wind out of the sails there early on. But our kids battled. Cash Ferris stepped up at quarterback and led us to a bunch of wins and did a really, really good job of filling in there. And at Carl Albert, typically, we've had a way and a knack of getting better every week, and that's a testament to the kids. These kids, they come out and they grind and they listen, they focus. We practice long. We expect a lot out of them. Our meetings and we watch a lot of film and we chalk talk. I mean, we do everything that you're supposed to do, and our kids eat it up.
Right.
So that process has been really, really good for us this year. I feel like we're starting to play some of our best football the last 4 weeks, and we still haven't hit our ceiling yet. So
right.
I think that process still continues, and again, had another good week this week, and so hopefully we'll take care of business and get to see it come to fruition the next 2 after that.
Absolutely. So this being a crosstown rival in Midwest City, it's Dell City on the west side, and then you have Carl Albert on the east side. How much of a distraction is it for not only the coaches and the players, for everyone involved? How much of it is a distraction to the team, and how do you handle that?
I haven't felt that this week at all. It's funny, Coach Jones and I were talking about this last night, but one of the papers is writing a story about us because our relationship goes way back. We played together here, and we coached together all over Texas, and we coached together over there too, and so we've talked about, we don't want it to be about us at all. We want it to be about the kids, and I don't get that feeling. I know he doesn't get that feeling from his either. Our kids are friends. That's kind of how it is these days. Mike Gundy talked about it the other day about the Midwest City and Dell City rivalry, just the way it is today with social media. These kids are friends, but I know Friday night, they're going to be ready to go. They're going to be going right at each other, and they're going to have a whole lot of fun doing it. And like I said earlier, there's going to be guys throwing haymakers and dudes making plays, and I think it's going to be an exciting game, exciting brand of football.
Absolutely. So talking about, being the friends and all the hype that comes with it, another focus question, how do you handle the hype with your players, knowing how big of a game it is playing against their friends, trying to show out when that football snapped? How do you handle the hype with your players?
Right. Well, we talk about the same thing every week. I think that's another thing about Carl Albert is the consistency. Can't get too high, can't get too low. In football, you really got to stay even keel. Even within a football game,
right.
you can't let your emotions get too high or get too low. You've got to really ride those waves, and you got to stay consistent. And I think the way we prepare and the way that we plan our weeks, just what we do as far as our routine, I think it helps kind of curve a lot of that distraction, a lot of that, the hype. We don't let our kids get too too high about the game. You know, we just go out, we do the same thing. You know, we had a coach here for a long time, Coach Tex Rollins, and he used to always say, when we get to the playoffs, he would say, nothing's changed. You know, and so in my mind, that's what I always think about is nothing's changed. It's another game. It's a big game. Everybody knows that, but it's another game. It's another step to your ultimate goal.
Right. And so in closing, your final thoughts for the game tomorrow, and just in general about the game as head coach of Carl Albert, what are your final thoughts and what are some things that you say to your coaching staff and your players moving into tomorrow?
Well, we've talked a lot about, in these games when teams are really evenly matched, the team that takes care of the ball is always going to put themselves in a good spot. The team that plays the most physical is going to put themselves in a really, really good spot, and the team that makes the least amount of mistakes, and that's good, well-coached football teams. That's what you want to see. That's the kind of football you want to be playing this time of year. I know that our kids, I don't have to worry one bit about how hard our kids are going to go out and play. They do it week in, week out, and they're going to give 110. I think before the game you say, go out and do what you do what we've done. I think we've won 8 games in a row, and like I said, we keep getting better and better every week. So that's what we got to do tomorrow night.
Well, best of luck to you, Coach.
Thank you.
And we have Coach Jones, Dell City High School head coach. What's going on, Coach?
Not much. How are you?
I'm good. How was practice today?
It's been pretty focused and dialed in today. We kind of put the final touches on the game plan and the schemes, and I think our young men are ready to go. They're fired up about this game. We've been looking forward to it all week, and everybody's asking and talking about it, and there's a lot of storylines to go along with it. There's a lot of great athletes and 2 great coaching staffs coming at it, going at it to say, but this is what it's all about. This is what high school football is all about.
Absolutely. So before we dive into the major game that everyone's talking about tomorrow, let's take a step back on the season. And how do you feel, making it this far? How do you feel about your season? And then what is one win that stood out to you this season so far to help build your program to where it is right now?
Well, the way we started the season was awesome. Playing against Choctaw and who they are and the quarterback that they have, he's remarkable. They had the most winningest coach in Choctaw's history. So to have that start to the season, it kind of just got that taste out of our mouth from how we ended with St. Springs the past year. The season's been great. That first year, everybody's kind of like, hey, was that a one-hit wonder? You even kind of not question yourself, but you want to see yourself to be able to see if you're able to do it again. With this being my second year, with this staff, we had a couple new coaches come on staff, so to be able to go back and do it again and play against championship-type programs and be in every game, I'm excited about it. We had some tough games, some tough losses. I've been coaching for 18 years. I don't think I ever lost a game in overtime over a 2-point conversion, and I lost 2. Especially the way McAllister and how that happened. That was a big-time game. Everybody in the state was talking about it. We had a lead with a minute left, and to lose that game, that was tough. And then to lose to Coweta in a similar fashion, even though we came back, that was just tough. But we were able to overcome it. I feel like we're still growing, and I feel like those losses are going to propel us to help us be successful this week. We're battle tested. We've been in some tough matchups, and we lost some tough ones. And when you lose, I think the fear of losing it again like that helps you be successful. As far as one of the games that I remember this year was last week. Coach Rose is my mentor, and he coached at Del City for 22 years, and he talks about they were always winning district. They were always 10-1, 9-2. They always had great regular seasons, and they would get into the playoffs, and for whatever reason, they would lose in the first round. I remember us talking about that last year, and then when we lost, I was like, oh, goodness. Did we come out last week? It's 7:15. I'm starting to see some snowflakes. I'm like, man, this is kind of weird. Maybe it's just a little rain or something. Maybe it's a little freezing. It'll probably blow over. 20 minutes into the game, it's covered with snow. It's just coming down so hard, the players could barely get our signals. Our quarterback could barely throw the ball. Everybody knows we like to throw it around a little bit. Kind of changed our game plan as far as that goes. And just to overcome that as a program, that was a character win. Bishop Kelly was a good football team. They're historically good. I think they even played Grove to where it was 21-20 at halftime. So they're a big-time program. So to be able to come out with that weather and the way it was, and to play against a tough physical team that wants to run the ball, and we were able to stop them and control the game with our own running game. That I will always remember that win just because of the weather and for us to get over that hump in my first playoff win. So that was one of the wins I'll remember.
And congratulations on that first playoff
Thank you,
win.
I appreciate it.
For sure. So now diving into the game, Carl Albert's on the east side, you're on the west side of Midwest City. So in a sense, it's battle of East versus West Midwest City. It's a major battle. How much of a distraction is it, if any, to your players and coaching staff who are friends with guys over there at Carl Albert or friends with the coaching staff? Like, how much of a distraction is that in the massive stage of this game?
Well, our motto all year has been control what you can control, and that's really live by that. We don't really get caught up in who we're playing. We don't get caught up in who we're playing against. As far as friends and coaches, we just focus on what we can do, and that's practicing with intense focus, intense physicality, and being a good teammate and taking care of your business in the classroom. That's really our motto, and that's how we live by it. We played in a lot of big games in the last 2 years. My first 2 years, we're 9-2. So what is that? 9-2 last year. That's 22 games, and out of those 22 games, I know we played against 11 top 10 teams, 6 top 5. We're 4-2 versus the top 5 teams, to be able to play in those games. I think about last year, we played in 3 overtime games. Bishop McGinnis, we won that one. Played in Deer Creek in overtime. PC North, I know they were down a little bit this year, but they were pretty good last year. We played them in overtime and won. To beat Stillwater. To play Choctaw this year, to play Booker T last year and this year. So we've been in these type of games, we've been in this type of atmosphere, we know how to prepare for it. You can't get so caught up in the personnel matchups with Xavier versus Kanaja or Foreman versus, you just got to remember, we've been here before, we're battle tested. We got to win the physical battle. We can't turn the ball over, and we can't have penalties. And that's what we live by. So we don't really get caught up in the riff-raff of those are our friends, or we're playing Carl Albert. We just got to control what we can control, and that's our attitude and effort.
Perfect. And so my final question was kind of your final thoughts, but I believe you just answered all that in that last one. So just something to leave all your fans watching. What is something that you would like to say to them to come out to Carl Albert and come cheer you on?
I would like all the alumni to come out. I know we have the live stream, and everybody's been utilizing that pretty much. I think I heard. Captain Kilty told me we had 6,000 people watching Coweta.
Oh yeah.
We need that. We need that 6,000 at the stadium at Carl Albert Gary Rowe Stadium tomorrow. It's a big time game. I think it's probably the biggest game in the last 46 years because it's the next game up, and it's in the playoffs, and it decides the road to the semifinals. So we love everybody to be there, be loud. Be proud. I think we're going to give you a good show. I think we're going to give you something that you'll be proud of as far as Del City alumni. These kids deserve it. They deserve the support. They worked their butts off to get here, and we'd love to see you there.
Again, Coach Jones with Del City. I appreciate the time out and everything, and I wish you the best of luck. Don't forget, kickoff at 7 o'clock tomorrow night at Carl Albert. If you can't make it out to the stadium, you can always watch it on Oklahoma Sports Network, Facebook, our website, oksportsnet.com. Just go ahead and click the Carl Albert or Del City logos there. It'll take you straight to the game. So, again, Coach Jones, I appreciate everything. Good luck tomorrow.